Hi, my name is Kat. This is Atlas Heights. Atlas is inspired by worldly travels, so like Atlas around the world. Pretty much each menu drop is going to highlight a different culture, country, or continent, and then the bartenders will make our cocktails influenced by that culture. So we will be having our first staff cocktail menu drop around September. Right now, we just have 3 classic cocktails that are from other Atlas locations. But I feel like it's a big game changer because we're not doing our normal spring, summer, fall, winter menu that you see at other places. It's going to be Mexico or Italy, and you're going to taste those flavors in the cocktails. Our food menu is also very worldly. We have different dishes picked from different cultures, so that way you get a little taste of that, I guess, traveling. But I guess for Houston, we're such a melting pot. You're kind of used to the menu being everywhere food-wise. We have a little bit of everything. I think we're the first cocktail bar that's going to put different cultures in one place. So I'm really excited to work somewhere where I feel like it's always something new. I don't have to stick to a certain style or concept. So being here and having the opportunity to play around with different cultures, concepts, or I guess even like liquors if we're trying from different places, I feel like that's going to really broaden my horizons in the cocktail scene. I feel like I'm less limited, but also more challenged because I'm going to get to play around with ingredients or flavors that I'm not really used to. So very excited. I started in 2018 as a server when I first moved to Houston at a place called the Fox and Hound. They've been open since the 90s, and I think they closed post-COVID. But right after that, in 2019, I started bartending at the Bull and Bear Tavern because I was really stubborn and I didn't want to wait till I was 21 to bartend. I went to a half-price books and I bought a Mr. Boston's bartender book, and I studied classic cocktails. And then I walked in there and lied to them and told them I had bartender experience. And they hired me because they liked me. And I guess they kept me because they liked me too. I didn't know how to pour a beer, and they trained me on all of that. Ever since then, it's been bouncing around from cocktail bar to dive bar, and I feel like I've found my home. I've done a little bit of it all. So I have a diverse bartending background that I guess stemmed from stubbornness, confidence, and what is the word? Ambition. There it is. I started bartending because of ambition and being stubborn. So I think the lesson that I've learned bouncing around from bar to bar is you have to take it for what it is. You can't change the culture. So there were times when I was at dive bar and I was like, oh, I want a cocktail. You can't really do that. You have to appreciate it for what it is, and that's how you drive more sales. And when I was at cocktail, you can't give the same level of comfortability experience that you do at dive bar. So it's very much like understanding where you are and maybe changing a little bit of your personality for the venue until you find your perfect fit. Because you get hired for the job's not hired for you. So I feel like it's just adapting to your surroundings, and that's something I had to learn after a couple of years in the industry. My inspiration for making a cocktail from scratch usually is a little bit more like avant-garde and abstract. I don't start with a base cocktail that I riff or things like that. Usually I don't even start with a base spirit. I only do that if I want to challenge myself, so I'll pick something I don't like and try to make it into something I do like. But typically I will conceptualize a look or a flavor palette, and then I will write out that palette, flavors, and then look into spirits and syrups and how to create that. So I start off with, I guess, like trying to mental like what flavor palette I'm going for. And then sometimes it's like, okay, I just want something funky color gin. And then it's like, all right, let's do that. For me, the other type of thing that I do is I will ask somebody with a different palate what they like, and then I'll try to create something to that flavor. So very much like serving a guest, because I can't make all my cocktails for me because everybody has a different palate. It can't be only what I like. So sometimes I will like challenge myself and just be like, what do you like? What do you like to drink? How can I make you a cocktail? So for me, the biggest difference between creating a good cocktail and a memorable guest experience is putting your personality in there. A good cocktail can be a good cocktail, but it's like basically being a drink robot. You're just handing them something. A great guest experience is something that's going to stick out to them. Maybe knowing their name, knowing their order, making a joke, like making them have a good time, right? Because they can come to the bar and order, but at that point you're just a service. Well, if they're sitting at the bar top, they're there for a little bit of human interaction, and they're there for you and your personality. So you have the opportunity and I guess the responsibility to give them a great guest experience. Like the difference is that personal interaction. So in my opinion, what separates a average bar program from a great bar program is that trust that people put into the bartenders. If your managers are backing up and they're willing to try a new ingredient, try a new cocktail, and give you that R&D, you're able to make something great. Whereas I've worked in places where the owner-operators are really stressed about spending extra money for something that they might not use. They're tightening the budget, like they've switched from good brands to cheaper calls and the classic cocktails, and that's fine, increasing the profit margin. But when you sacrifice, I guess, quality because you're trying to make more money in the long run, the cocktails hurt, and then that affects long-term feedback. And there's a lot of places that don't trust their bartenders to do the bar program, and they trust liquor reps. And I always feel kind of biased against that because they have skin in the game. They're making money from it. And I actually wanted to read for you this quote from this book that my friend lent me, because I've been reading it recently, Mr. Meehan's Bartender Guide. And it says, quote, one of the biggest violations, and also this is a quote from 1972, re-quoted in this book. So 1972, in the Trader Vic's Bartender Guide, Trader Vic laments, quote, one of the biggest violations of the worthy inventive process is some liquor company who wants you to use its liquor, so it invents a lot of lousy drinks that you can't drink and puts them into a pamphlet. Ultimately, those drinks get into some bartender's guide where they really have no place to be. End quote. While this practice continues today, spirit companies still use their budget and bullhorn. I think one skill every bartender should develop outside of making drinks is being able to be talkative even if you're not in the moment. So your social battery may be run out during shift, but you still have to be able to have that bar persona and personality on. You can't let your personal feelings get in the way of work because people come out to have a good time and get that decompression and relax. It's not for you to be in your head. So at that point, you want to give them the best experience possible. That's a really good skill that I think I also had to learn after a couple of years in the industry. Is you could have a flat tire or a dog just died, but the moment that you decide to clock in instead of call out, you have to get to work. I haven't put much thought into legacy, but I think whenever I get ready to leave the bartending game, what I want to leave behind is that anybody can do anything, right? Because I think most bartenders, we don't even start out wanting to be bartenders, right? You kind of just fall into the service industry for the quick cash, and then you find your place. And I feel like my 20-year-old and 22-year-old self and 23-year-old self didn't see the industry very seriously, and somewhere around 23 an appreciation came for it where I really enjoy it. So I guess I want to leave behind respect and appreciation for it. I want people to value it as an actual job and an actual source of income. We don't just play around. Perhaps, maybe, my bartender page will be so big and I'll have a little channel too. Maybe, they'll be like, what's Kat's recipe? But I don't know about that one.